What's going on, guys? This is Martyrs Brigade 99 coming to you once again with another session of Killzone Shadow Fall. Alright guys, we're just going to go ahead and continue on with the multiplayer for noobs series. And this time around we're going to take a break from the support class. I know there was yet one last support class ability for us to cover, but since that one ability is shared with the ridiculous scout class, I figured I'd just go ahead and talk about that ability once I get on to the scout class. Now, before I start talking about the assault class, some of you may ask yourself, dude, why would you call the scout class ridiculous? I mean, it has the cloak, it has the radar, it's got sniper rifles, it's got the whole nine. You know what, dude? In preparation for future videos, covering other classes and their abilities, I've been experimenting with the scout class, and it sucks. It absolutely sucks. And to just a little educate myself for the most part on perhaps how to play with the scout class, I've been looking around on YouTube for other videos of people who did well with the scout class. And you want to know what? Very rare. Very rare. As a matter of fact, I can't even say rare. I have yet to find one video that did not include a bunch of clips. I have yet to find one, because in other words, it's kind of fancy where these guys, they put their little montage together and they just kind of, cut and attach all their successful hits, right? But I have yet to see one person upload one complete video, no clips, of a full match and of them owning with the scout class. And not even owning, I'll just say doing relatively well. I dabbled with that scout class and it sucked. It 100% sucked. Now, some of you guys may be saying, well, maybe you just don't know how to work the scout. Well, guess what? I did really good with the scout class in Killzones 2 and 3. The scout classes in those two games were fine. The maps were fine as far as being accommodating to those classes. But lines of sight, with it being as important as it is, particularly when you're talking about the scout class, it is very difficult to keep your eyes on an objective from a distance and to be successful. Now, there is one good sniper rifle that I can think of, right? I believe it's the LS70 or something like that. If I'm saying the wrong thing, right, all you information police, don't say anything. I know it's the third, right? I'm going to have to go ahead and write those weapons down, but I know it's the third sniper rifle, the one that has, for the most part, the slowest rate of fire, but is a one-shot kill. That one is pretty good. Right, and it's because for the most part it snipes from a long distance and you can one-shot kill. The previous two rifles, and we'll go ahead and talk about them a little later, the ones with a relatively faster rate of fire, they suck. The sight that they start off with sucks, and in order for you to get better sights, you have to not only get kills, but you also have to get headshots. And with that basic scope on those sniper rifles, I mean, they just absolutely suck. Dude, it is so difficult to try to get better scopes with those first two sniper rifles. Right, but this is not going to be a video about the scout class. I'll talk about the scout class a little later. But, I just had to say something about it because, experimenting with both the assault and the scout class, I had to dedicate some time because we all know that the support class is my favorite. But I had to dedicate some time to the scout class and I absolutely dislike it. So if some of you guys play Shadow Fall, especially if you are uploaders, please, I like to see you guys dedicate a full video showcasing your own gameplay of the scout class being successful and not just piecing clips together. Because like I said, I've seen a few montages where people, they may get 2 or 3 shots in a row, but then they'll cut it, right? And then they'll just attach it to another segment where they're getting 2 or 3 shots in a row. No. I like to see how you're strategically finding good lines of sight, how you're able to be successful with not only that one shot, one kill sniper rifle, but the previous two. One is like a vulture, and the other, it starts with a K. Can't really think about it. I can't really think of the name off the top of my head. But that particular weapon is a 3-shot kill for a sniper rifle. The vulture at least is a 2-shot kill. But the thing is, they want you to get headshots, right, with a crappy scope. Alright, so enough about that. My last request for any of you guys, please, I like to see you upload a video where you're not doing, wherein you're using the sniper in ways other than spamming, the cloak and the brutal melee. I don't want to see a video full of, spamming brutal melees. That's not really a sniper. That's just basically using your cloak to sneak up behind somebody. No, I really want to see that. Alright, so enough of the ranting. I just had to rant about that because it was ridiculous. So we're back at it with the assault class. Now, this was basically the first time me experimenting with the assault class. And for me it was kind of tough because I'm so used to using the support class. For the most part, I think I'm pretty much spoiled. One of the benefits of the support class over the assault class is at least you can tell where the fires are coming from, right? Because seeing that you have the revive ability, whenever you see down players, you can say to yourself, oh, okay, well, I see that people are dying over in this area, or my team is taking fires from that area, right? So you could probably change your direction, or you can choose to flank from somewhere else, right? Because you kind of know where the fires are coming from. With the assault class, you don't really have that benefit. So I really had to get used to just basically watching my back at all times, trying to find out, where the best areas that the opponents will approach, right, and the best areas for me to go ahead and engage. So, after I kind of dabbled with that a little bit, it wasn't really all that bad. For the most part, the weapons are good. They have relatively low recoil, high rates of speed. They're pretty much awesome, right? And another thing that I found with the assault class is really easy for me to play selfishly. It was really easy in the sense that, seeing that I have no other priorities other than, assaulting. I mean, it was easy for me to, maybe dabble a little bit with the objectives, but for the most part, just try to get as many kills as I can. Right? Because the thing is, after I attack an objective, I don't have to lay any spawn beacons, right? I don't have to revive anybody. I don't have to lay down any turrets for suppressing fire for the objectives. So there's really nothing for me to do, other than assault, right? Go around getting as many kills as I can. Try to take the pressure off some of the objectives by killing as many people as I could. But that was pretty much it. Now, one challenge, I really had to work on my aiming. Right, because granted, these assault weapons have relatively low recoil, but at the same time, you really have to have your line of sights like dead on. As a matter of fact, in this particular map, I raged so hard. I mean, I was raging like crazy because on several occasions, I felt as if I was unloading damn near a full mag into an approaching opponent, and he still wouldn't die. Right, so, I mean, admittedly, I raged a little bit, but for the most part, it just took a little time to get used to, but once I did, I was pretty much comfortable with the assault class. Now, after I get done with the multiplayer for noob series, will I kind of experiment with the assault class? Probably not, because I just love the support class, right? So, hey, it just is what it is. Now, let's go ahead and start talking about the abilities. The primary ability of the assault class is the possession of a nano shield. And I remember when we first started getting previews or videos on Killzone Shadow Fall multi. Now check this out. You guys notice that? I'm unloading pretty much a full mag into that guy, and he still didn't die. That part in particular was one point at which I raged, because my crosshairs was right there. Not only was I hitting him in the face, but I was unloading in the chest, and he was still running at me. There are far too many times wherein Obviously I'm playing multiplayer, and I'm faced against an opponent, and it seems like almost as soon as they see me, like I'm dead. However, when I'm playing, right, it seems as though no matter how many rounds I put into an opponent, it takes almost forever for me to kill them, right? And I don't really understand that. I don't know if that's lag. I don't really know what that is. But so many times when I'm playing, may it be against an assault guy, may it be against a support guy, and especially with the support weapons, because many of them, they have higher recoil. So I would expect, especially when I'm assault, to win trade-offs a little more, win more trade-offs against a support person than, let's just say, against a assault member, right? Because at least with assault, you guys are pretty much going head-to-head, and they have pretty good weapons just like you do. So that's just kind of like a competition as to who has the better aiming, right? And who gets the shots off first. But so many times am I faced against a support guy, and we're not talking about with a shotgun. We're not talking about with the rail gun. We're just talking about straight up, assault weapon against assault weapon. And it's kind of like, dude, like they just saw me. How did I die already? So some of you may be saying to yourself, like, well, maybe they popped you off with a headshot. No, it's not a headshot, right? Because at least with the headshot, you would die and you don't have the ability to be revived. That's the difference between getting hit with a headshot versus getting hit with, let's just say, a body shot, right? So, I mean, I don't really understand that, and I don't know if some of you other guys experience that, but that's one thing I'm really have a hard time adjusting with. It seems like when I'm using these weapons, I have to unload pretty much a whole clip into these guys, versus when they see me, I mean, it's like almost instantly, right? Like 2 or 3 rounds and I'm dead. Right, so if some of you guys play Shadow Fall, right, I don't want to hear from any of you guys that don't play it, but if any of you guys play Shadow Fall and you have an explanation, I'm looking forward to checking out that explanation in the comment section. Alright, so back to the nano shield. That's the primary ability, and I remember when we first started getting video previews about what the multiplayer would be like, everybody was like, holy crap, they have shields. This game is going to be so OP, everybody's going to be spamming the shields, we won't really know what to do against it. But guess what? The shields are not really all that bad, right? There's workarounds. You can run through the shield, go in for a melee or a brutal melee. Right, you can destroy them with support class have these missiles, right? You can go ahead and tear those down with the missiles, the same missiles that you use to get rid of the ground and air support turrets. Or you can strafe around them, right? You can go around for the kill. So there's ways to get around it. It's not really all that bad, right? So that's one misconception. And the thing is, in some cases, people don't always have time to go ahead and erect those shields. Now, granted, there are some people who's a lot more faster. They're kind of quick on the draw with those shields. But for the most part, when you kind of have a lot of things going on, you don't necessarily have a lot of time. And then on top of that, you also have to wait for the cooldown. Right? So although they may appear to be kind of OP, they're not really all that OP. I mean, as a matter of fact, I'm willing to say that out of all of the Killzone games, Shadow Fall is probably the most balanced, right? Because there are a lot of strengths and a lot of weaknesses. Actually, let me take that back. I'll say that it's really balanced with regard to the assault and the support class. I'm still trying to figure out where's the benefit of the scout class, and it kind of goes back to my opening rant. I'm still trying to figure out what's the benefit to the scout class other than that one shot, one kill weapon. Right, so if any of you pros got the answer to that, I'm looking forward to checking out that answer. Alright, so in addition to the primary ability, the ability that we're going to talk about in this particular video is the speed dash. And actually, out of all of the abilities, that's probably my favorite. And the speed dash doesn't really do anything special, right? Other than it increases the speed of your movements, right? It drastically increases it. So, in other words, let's just say, you're running assault and you're trying to be one of the first ones on an objective because you want to protect it until, let's just say, your support class or your backup shows up. Well, all you can do is put on your speed boots and you can sprint. Or let's just say you're doing a beacon retrieval or beacon theft, right? Speed boots are awesome because once you go ahead and activate those speed boots, you can just go ahead and sprint to your destination. May it be capture and hold, may it be search and destroy. Those speed boots are awesome in dealing with those mission types. Right now, it does have a cooldown, but unfortunately, you can't upgrade it. Right, so there's no thing like there's a basic speed boots, and after you increase it, you get to sprint for a longer distance, for a longer duration of time. No, it doesn't work like that, but it's not really all that bad because before you know it, after you've extinguished your speed boots time, before you know it, you're back at it, and you can go ahead and sprint back in for your next iteration. Right, so like I said before, that's pretty much my favorite out of all of the assault abilities, secondary assault abilities. Now, they also have the buddy drones, right? They have like a burst, and it basically functions like a concussion grenade, right? It just, and actually I have to do a little testing with what the burst radius is, and actually I'll kind of talk a little bit more about that when we talk about that particular ability. But the assault class only has 3 abilities, right? Well, actually, let me take that back. 4 abilities. 1 primary ability, which is the nano shield, and 3 secondary abilities, which are the speed boots, which I'm using right now, the burst, right? It's kind of like some type of, I don't even have the name of it in front of me, but it basically functions like a concussion grenade. And then it has the buddy drone. The buddy drone is pretty good. We'll talk about that as well. So that's about it. If you want to be one of those guys that are first on the objective, go ahead and use your speed boots. If you're kind of switching off to the beacon theft or the beacon retrieval or anything associated with that, go ahead and put on your speed boots. Or, if you just kind of want to run around, right, sprinting around the map, go ahead and activate your speed boots. It's definitely a good addition for the assault class, which kind of brings the conversation right back to what I was saying prior about the scout class. Some people might argue that the scouts, they're supposed to be your eyes, right? So they get to the destinations first, and then they go ahead and scan, let you know where all their friends and foes are, and then they're good to go. Well, guess what? Like I said before, once we get those, once Guerrilla Games allows us to create clans and to have squads, I really plan to have a 4x18, 8 assaults, 4 support class. I really have no need for scouts. And like I said before, perhaps I need to educate myself more. I'll check around YouTube for a little more videos, but I really don't see how it benefits the team, because, in other words, why do I really need eyes when I can just have, let's just say, 2 assault guys with their speed boots sprinting off the objective? That's all I need, right? Because not only will they get to the objective first, but they have good weapons. They should be able to fight off the opposition until you get a good support team coming behind them, either laying ground turrets, erecting air support turrets, or even dropping down a spawn beacon. Alright, so as long as you have the muscle and the brains, the quote-unquote eyes, I'll do without them, right? At least I will, until either someone convinces me that they're, such an asset to the team, or perhaps with a little more time invested in that class, I kind of figure it out myself. Alright, so that's pretty much it with the first video on the assault class. Like I said before, they have the primary ability as a nano shield, and the secondary ability, at least in this video, are the speed boots. So this is probably the perfect time to go ahead and wrap this video up. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please stay tuned for next time Martyrs Brigade is out.
Alpha charge set.
Sons and daughters of Helgan, you are the embodiment of that glorious legacy, the inheritors of the victory that we fight for every day. You alone are fit to forge the future and the destiny of our species. History does not long entrust the care of freedom to the weak or the timid. We shall not suffer the irresolute and spineless men of the ISA to dictate our path. When you granted me the privilege of your leadership, I, Scholar Visari, willingly sacrificed myself to the engine of our nation. My only goal, to bring our people the absolute and deserved mastery of their destiny.